Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a semi-annual sale haul. Yeah, I did go a few times. So yeah, basically it started, let's see, the day after Christmas online. It started at 6 a.m. Eastern time, so I made sure to wake up for that and see what they had. I didn't make any online orders. They actually had more candles than I thought they would. Nothing is 75% off ever usually online, so there wasn't really anything like that. And I don't think they even had a 75% off body care this time, but they had a $4.95 body care and $11.95 candles on the first day. And online there were a few interesting things. I think like white balsam and vanilla came back in stock for a hot minute. Blueberry pie was available for a little bit as well. FYI, the blueberry pie in the blue ombre jar should be 75% off in stores if you do find it in stores, but it was $11.95 online. There was a new lavender collection fragrance called Mahogany Lavender, which I missed out on the whole lavender collection, so I was hoping that one of the lavender candles would be on there, but then I saw it was Mahogany Lavender, and I was like, I so don't need that. I think lavender is actually one of the notes in mahogany teakwood, so I'm just like, Mahogany Lavender sounds like it's just going to be totally cologne, so I was just like, I really don't need that. So there was really nothing online that I had wanted, and then just I really wanted the fresh cut lilac shower gel is what I was gunning for because I missed out on that during lockdown, and the spray is in abundance for 75% off at all the stores that I go to, but I don't use the fine fragrance mist. It smells divine though, oh my gosh, but I can't find the shower gel anywhere. And then I saw the Blooming Garden lotion I've seen in many stores too. But in any case, yeah, so that was what I was gunning for, at least online, and none of it was there, so I did not make an online order. So then I ventured out to the store that day. I went to one store in a mall as soon as they opened, and I was there 10 minutes before opening, and I was just like, how crazy is it really gonna be? It was crazy. There's lines at every store that I've been to for SAS, and like massive lines too, so it's actually quite, I mean, I understand why they do it to limit people in the store and to be safe for the sales associates, so because of the COVID and everything, so I understand why the line is there, but it is definitely a hindrance into going into store and like bopping around and checking out inventory at different stores, because there's almost a massive line at every store, and you can only hit like one store at opening per day because you can only be in one spot at one location, so it's really hard to go around to different stores to see what they have, because there's always there's been a massive line at every single store I've been to. So the first one, I went into the mall, I was there at opening. That store takes 46 people, so it actually holds quite a bit of people. So the line, I was like the 47th person. So I got, the person in front of me went in on the first batch, and then I got cut off. And I waited maybe about 10 to 15 minutes, and I finally got in. That line wrapped around like massively. So that was really long. And that's where I got the most of the stuff at. I went to a second store. I stood in line for about 20 minutes. It was an outside store, so I didn't feel as bad because I was waiting outside. But it was cold. And that line was moving so slow. I think I estimated I would have probably been in that line for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours if I had waited the entirety of the line. So I waited 20 minutes and I was like, do I really need Bath & Body Works this bad to be staying in a line for 2 hours to get in? And on top of that, there's absolutely no guarantee that once you go in there, you're going to find what you want. So it's like you could have waited all this time and then there's nothing in there, which I guess is good for casual shoppers or other people who like, you know, well, it's, oh, I waited this long in line, I might as well give something once I'm in the store kind of mentality, you know? So it's kind of a, you know, a sticky situation there. So I was like, after 20 minutes and the line was like literally not moving, I think maybe 2 parties went in and that was it. I was like, okay, this is taking way too long. And so I had to go to another store to run errands for my parents. And I think that took about like another 45 minutes, and then I went out, and the lady who was behind me in the line was maybe like 3 spots ahead, and the line was still massively long. So like she had barely moved, so I would have barely moved in front of her. So that I was like, whoa, there's absolutely no way. So that store was a total bust. And then I went to a store today that was a little bit more local. It's a smaller store. They only fit like 17 people in at one time. So it is slow moving, but it's not as highly trafficked as the other stores were. So I was in line for, I would say, probably anywhere from 35 to 40 minutes. That one went a little bit quicker, and the line wasn't as long. So that was where I got some of this other stuff in. So it's basically 2 hauls, but I just wanted to talk about my experience at the stores. Yeah, expect massive lines. I haven't been able to find a store that doesn't have a line. I think I'm just gonna hit up one more store tomorrow. which is like a pretty huge store, and then call it a day, and then just burn my spring candle stuff and then move on. So yeah, as for the selection, You know, it is what it is every year. I didn't have high expectations going into it this semi-annual sale because it is during the pandemic, and because they just had Candle Day, which they were like completely wiped out of stock for Candle Day, so you can't expect stores to have too much hidden gems or good stuff, you know, in the stores during SAS for this SAS. So my expectations weren't high, and they remained like, you know, there wasn't much in the store for me to get. So I think the only hidden gems you're going to find is if you're in a test store region. So if you're in the Atlanta region or the Columbus region, then you might find some stuff. But other than that, I don't really think you're going to find too much. I think people are just finding that blueberry pie, that peach Bellini and mahogany coconut, and the ombre white Boncour for 75% off, which we all have a ton of that. They're like repackaged scents that's not really of any, you know, consequence. There is quite a bit of 75% off body care. So if you're into body care, you might find some stuff there. But True Blue Spa was still like 50% off. And then the candles fluctuate between the $11.95 thing and 50% off. But most of the stores I went to only had the like Clementine Sherbet collection, and like literally nothing else. Like literally nothing else to buy from that selection because they sold it out through, you know, Candle Day and before Christmas. So home fragrance selection is it's quite abysmal, to be honest. So there's really not much worth going into by the way of actual home fragrance. And they didn't really release anything new for SAS like they have in the past. So you can't, there's nothing to really find there. And once again, they like wiped out stock during Candle Day that I really don't think you're going to find many hidden gems. I think there's some body care hidden gems to be found in test stores, but even the test store hauls that I've seen haven't been to like, oh my god, wow. So it is what it is, kind of the expectations that I had for this year. So yeah, probably one more trip, famous last words, and then be done with it. So without further ado, let me get into it. So yeah. So the first store I went to, because I was there at opening on the first day, they had a ton of shower gel for 75% off, which I was pretty stoked for. I think the last time I bought a shower gel was either last year or like January, February when Strawberry Pound Cake and Margarita Cupcake came out. I bought those two, and then we were in lockdown. I bought a hot spring spa like somewhere a few months ago. So I think I bought a total of 3 shower gels in the entire year. So I was just like, I have so many shower gels, and once again I had the whole move and the lockdown and everything that I was like, I don't really need any more shower gel. But then 75% off, you know, showed its face, and I was like, you know what, I've been really jonesing for some new shower gel. Like I've only bought so little this year when I usually buy so much that I was like, you know what, for $3 and some change, let me just have it at it and buy 5 shower gels. So that's what I did. The first one we have, they're pretty much all the ones that I've been eyeing, but I just never pulled the trigger on because I didn't want to do a buy 3 get 3 on it. But 75% off, I'm totally there for. So I found a Sugar Cherry Crisp, which this was at the top of my list. I was like, I so want this. This is Bright Cherry Delight crumbled graham cracker and spun vanilla sugar. This is so delicious. I freaking love it. It's like this juicy body care interpretation of a cherry vanilla crumble fragrance. You don't get too much of the like graham cracker crust or crumble in there, but there's a slightly implied bakery note, but it's mainly like this beautiful juicy like cherry vanilla slightly warm bakery fragrance with a body care twist on it. But I honestly don't mind the body care twist on it because I really don't care for cherry fragrances in general, especially even bakery ones. So the fact that there was a body care twist on it, I really enjoyed it. This was so delicious in the shower. The only thing is the dry down is non-existent in the shower gel, but the fragrance itself, I was like, this is everything I hoped for. So I was super stoked to get that. So that's Sugar Cherry Crisp right there. I think this was from the Fall Traditions collection. I also really wanted Vanilla Mocha Cafe, and I found that for 75% off, so you know I scooped that up. This is Cozy Cappuccino, Vanilla Orchid, and White Tonka Bean. This does not at all smell like coffee. It's more like this, if you took Beach Nights, Summer Marshmallow, or like that Bonfire Bash type of like marshmallow vanilla fragrance, but gave it a slightly more like mocha dark vibe to it, then this is kind of what that is. It's cozy, it's warm, and it has that distinctly sort of like perfumey body care marshmallow vanilla blend that they use in a lot of those type of fragrances. Really enjoyed it though. It was really delicious and cozy, and it wasn't really like a cafe or coffee fragrance, but I didn't mind it. So that was Vanilla Mocha Cafe there, so I was really jazzed to see that as well. Then there was this collection. I guess there was that, was it the Happy Little Coconuts, and then maybe this was supposed to be the Happy Berries or whatever it was. I guess they were like side-by-side collections, but this one sort of had a weird rollout because it was like in the middle of lockdown. And so I have the strawberry shower gel that I found for 75% off as well. There are no notes on this. This just smells like a super juicy strawberry fragrance. Super fresh picked, quite sweet. And it definitely smells more of that fresh picked strawberry rather than like that vanilla strawberry that we get in strawberry pound cake. It is a slightly different, more juicy, crisp, fresh picked strawberry fragrance is what I get from it. Similar to the fresh picked strawberries that they had in that big, huge square bottle back in like fresh pick days. But that one smelled like gasoline. I feel like this one doesn't smell as like so gasoline-y as that one does, but I haven't used it in the shower yet, but I did smell it like on my hands and it smells good. So that was strawberry right there. This one is very light on cold, so I don't really know too much about it and I haven't used it yet, but it is blueberry, which was the other one in there. It's weird that there's only 2 fragrances in a collection. There's usually like 3 to round it out, so I don't know if there was supposed to be a third one and then they just canned it because of COVID. I don't really know. But blueberry right here, yeah, it's just really light. I think it's slightly different from the wild blueberry that was in that like white barn packaging when Black Cherry Merlot first came out, and it came out in the moisturizing body wash. I think it's slightly different from that, but once again, I haven't used it. Very, very light on cold, so we'll see what happens to it. I think it might be a little bit more tart, but I don't know. We'll see. So that was blueberry right there. And then lastly, it's like you have your mask on again. You can't really smell shower gels, even like puffing it so much that I'm just like, okay, I'll just try it for $3. So Lavender Bloom was the last one I got. And this one says Lavender Feels, Lily of the Valley, Sunwash Driftwood. This is not great. It smells fine on here, but when you use it, there's something very plasticky and synthetic about it, kind of harsh. You get lavender, but it's subdued by, or it's more like buried by a stronger coconut and citrus note that sounds totally weird. But I get a ton of like a citrus lemon plus coconut and then a hint of lavender at the end. But it takes all the sharp components of the citrus, the coconut, and the lavender, and it's just like this weird blend. But then you do get a slightly like Lily of the Valley mature white floral fragrance on dry down, but then it's just overshadowed by that plasticky note. This is really not that good. This was 75% off, and so was Champagne Apple and Honey, but for some reason Golden Sunflower was still 50% off. But yeah, that one could definitely live without. Like if I have gone back in time, would I have bought it? Absolutely not. I'll just use it or use it as like bubble bath or something, but that exists. So Lavender and Bloom right there. And that was the whole whopping 75% off shower gel haul at the first store. And then the second store, stood in line for like, 35, 40 minutes. But when I drove by it, because it was an outside store, I saw Whipped Coffee like front and center on a little, table right in front. You could see it through the windows. And I was like, oh my God, I have my exchanges to make. So let me go and stand in line just so I can get Whipped Coffee, because I was dying to smell this. One store had already completely sold out of it. And that's the thing with this SAS, is stores are selling out so much and so quickly that they don't have any stuff to stock the shelves with. So they're starting to put out like, new spring candles, and either people are buying those or exchanging out for those. So it's just sort of like, oh my God, like get it while you can. But I don't want to like, encourage FOMO, but I would assume they would pour more for when the actual spring season comes out, because they're always going to be continually backlogged. But I don't know. So I was just like, you know what? I have a few exchanges with me in my car. Let me go and snatch up this Whipped Coffee while I can lock it in. So that's what I did. So I got Whipped Coffee right here. This is that Good Day Cafe collection, which, by the way, there's like a whole crap load of new fragrances that have been spotted on Instagram. Kate's Candle Reviews, I think, on Instagram tagged me. Thank you so much. That a Instagram account called 3 Wick Candles or 3 Wick Candle, and I believe the store they were shopping at was somewhere in Columbus, and it was like the headquarters store. It was like a massive one. At least I was doing a little bit of snooping on that Instagram account, and their candle day was at that massive flagship store that's in Columbus, I think. So I don't know if they have like a Columbus test store hookup, I don't even know, but they had like these candles that have been literally not seen anywhere, and it was just like, oh my God, where did this come from? There was like a lemon cake pop in this collection as well, honeysuckle and freesia, which is a repackage, don't really care for it. There was something else, white eucalyptus or white lavender and sage, or one of those lavender and eucalyptus things, I don't even know, but I didn't really care for it. And then they had like a Warm Ocean Breeze in a totally new collection. And then they had a Emerald Waters, which was also in a new collection. And then they had some egg-citing marshmallow fluff, which is I think a repackaged of vanilla bean marshmallow slash buttercream icing slash vanilla bean, and an Easter candle. They had that too, and they had a few of the like coconut cream pie candles, but in champagne toast and strawberry pound cake. So there's quite a bit of other collections that are floating around out there, and for some reason that 3-wick candle person, found them in Columbus or has the hookup somehow. So there's more candles lying around out there, and the lemon cake pop one in this collection is the one that's probably the most intriguing. But in any case, I did get whipped coffee finally, and that's what that is. And this one says shot of espresso, whipped sweet cream, and sugar crystals. And a lot of the comparisons have been made to the white caramel cold brew candle. And I was like, okay, let me see what it's like. And yeah, I totally get that. It's actually quite similar to white caramel cold brew. Maybe the coffee note is ever so slightly stronger. There's a very like bland flatness to white caramel cold brew that isn't, the fragrance itself is not very strong. All the versions I've had either burn really, really nasty and dirty, or they're not very strong. This one seems like white caramel cold brew made it a little bit stronger and more creamy. Yeah, so we'll have to see. But there is a like whipped component to it. I feel like it's a little bit more fluffy or gooey than white caramel cold brew is. But still very similar in the sense that you get that caramel the most. Like first and foremost before whatever coffee note is in there. It's actually quite similar to white caramel cold brew, so not super jazzed about that. It is not Paris Cafe. That's way stronger and more bold and more roasty and more like balls to the walls coffee fragrance. This is more in your caramel cream, like salted caramel type of route. So I'm hoping this changes while it burns, but that is what whipped coffee is right there. And that was that. And then I finally found this one as well, and it is the Bubbly Rosé right here, and it has the red lid on it. This one says pink sparkling rosé, sweet blood orange, splash of cranberry juice. Really wanted to find pink lilac and vanilla, but they didn't have it, but I was like, oh, let me just snatch this while I can find it. It smells as expected. Once again, in the store, I had a mask on, so I was just like, I don't really know what this smells like. Let me just dissect it later. It's very, very, very similar to their Aloha Kiwi Passion Fruit, Pink Apple Punch, the Green Apple Champagne, Wasabi Apple type of fragrance, Mary Mimosa, any of those drink scents that have those tropical fruit notes in it that are kind of like artificial and not my favorite, this is what it smells like. Very similar to all of those. Yeah, more similar to Aloha Kiwi Passion Fruit, Mary Mimosa, Wasabi Apple, Pink Apple Punch, versus your Peach Bellini slash Cranberry Pear Bellini. Not so much in that route. It's just like that super fruity fragrance that you get from like Aloha Kiwi Passion Fruit and Mary Mimosa. Not super in love with it. Very redundant. It actually seems very redundant that this exists alongside Pink Apple Punch in the same exact collection. It's like, how many of these drink scents do we need? It seems very redundant. You get the cranberry in there. It's sweet. It gives it a little bit of tartness to it. And then just a whole other crap load of like those sweet fruit notes that you get from like Aloha Kiwi Passion Fruit and Mimosa. Is there a little bit of like maybe even apple in it? It says orange. I don't get a whole, maybe there's a little bit of citrus in it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those fruity drink scents. I'm not super in love with it. But like this was an exchange, so like I don't want to exchange an exchange. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to do with this, so we'll see. So that was Bubbly Rosé right there, and that's what that is. And yes, lastly, we have a single wallflower. My mom actually really enjoyed You're the One, and I couldn't find the candle to get for her by the time she let me know that she really enjoyed You're the One, and I couldn't find it anymore because like Candle Day and all the sales happened, and I was like, oh crap. So I was like, you know what, I wouldn't mind like at least trying to get her the wallflower because she loves using the wallflowers and uses them, goes through them quite quickly. So I was like, well, you know what, at least I'll get just the You're the One wallflower because I haven't seen those anywhere since I can't get her the candle. So that's what I got right here. We all know what this smells like. What is it? Well, this one has totally different notes on it. Red currant, sparkling pear, and pink pepper. Even though it's supposed to be strawberry, birchwood, and rose. But yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming it's the same fragrance though. So I got that for her just because I couldn't find the candle, and that was that. And I believe that is it. Yeah, home fragrance, you're not really gonna find anything during the SAS because people are like, the stores are totally depleted. Clementine sherbet is in abundance everywhere. No one clearly likes that fragrance. So if you want that, you can check that out. I actually really enjoyed it, by the way. And then some 75% off body care. I really don't know like how they're gonna last through the entire 3 weeks or whatever, because stores are already starting to put out spring stuff because they're so wiped out. And like, there's some stores don't even have any 75% off shower gel anymore. It's just literally lotion and sprays up the wazoo. So yeah, I don't know, but that's pretty much what my experience was with the SAS. Let me know if you scored anything good, if you were totally underwhelmed by it, if you were overwhelmed by it and was super excited about it. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Hope you had a good and safe Christmas, and then Happy New Year in case I don't see you by then. So thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.